brothers and sisters. Kaya naman ang mikropono, pero sige. Kaya na. Kaya naman. Teacher ako di ba? So, maliit pa nga ito Sige, but I think this will be of great help. Good evening, everyone. Bigating speaker dapat si, di ba? Hindi. Magkapatid kami yan. Matagal na, no? Since what? Way back, more than a decade, no? 2 decades na ba? A decade na ba? Okay. Sige, I'm humbled by the invitation to join you this evening. I think this is a series of talks on finding your purpose or discovering your purpose at work or in your workplace. So I think there are 2 things that we'd like to achieve in this talk. Number 1 is to find or look for that purpose. If you're not in that workplace where you think your potential is utilized, I suppose this talk will help you at least find that. Or if you discover that, if you're already in that workplace, at talagang, you think that the Lord meant for you to be there where you are right now, this talk might also reinforce even more the purposes of God for you in that particular place. So let me start. Is your job, work, or play? That's a title given. That was a title given for this particular presentation. So here is my contribution to your to that talk, to the title. The work and the worker. Each day, millions of people go to work. Tama? Kasama tayo doon. Performing a variety of tasks. There are teachers, technicians, carpenters, cooks, dancers, and dentists. The laborer who strains muscles and the scientist who stretches the intellect are both engaged in work, as are the mother or father caring for their children. And even the high school student participating in class or reading a textbook after dark. Wala ka rito may mga estudyante pa rin, di ba, kahit nagtatrabaho na. The time of work, whether for oneself or for an employer, where we get paid to provide for the necessities of life, is what we typically understand as work. Right? It's paid work. But of course, work is larger than that. Okay? Although pay or the salary is important, what is perhaps more significant here is whether we sense that our work makes a positive difference in the world. Okay? What is work, by the way? So let me define to you what work is, even while we do that on a daily basis. Work is sustained effort expended for a purpose. Again, it's sustained effort expended for a purpose, right? It is an effort that makes a difference in the world. In fact, work is a fundamental dimension of human life. We all need to work. In our adult life, we all need to work. Hindi pwede nag-aaral tayo, di ba, forever. Kaya nga, di ba, sa mga estudyante ko sa kolehiyo, sa USC, I tell them, please have goals. You will not forever be studying, right? This will only consume a few years of your life, after which you have to prepare for the world of work. So have goals. Okay? By the way, did you know that the average working hour, what's the average working hour per week? 40, very well. Pero pag kasama ang Sabado, 48, no? Pero talaga, ayan, sabi ni Arnold, lampas-lampas pa nga sa iba. There was a study made, this was in 2015 in the Philippines. Actually, every year naman pala, naglalabas sila ng mga figures, na statistics about the average hours that a Filipino spends every week or a month or a year, etc., etc. So, noong 2015, yung article na na-publish, pinakita niya that from among the workers who spend the longest number of hours at work, who is on top of the list? Women executives, mga female managers, who actually consume or work over 64 hours a week. Hindi, no? Sa kailangan na, matindi ata ang pangangailangan, And then, who do you think come close to that? Coming in close second are male service workers and shop or market sales workers, those who work in sales. Yung mga kapatid dito, di ba, they work in sales. So you come, si Mike kanina, nabanggit niya yan, di ba? You come in close second. Okay? So imagine, how much time, in fact, kinampute din na, alam niyo din ito, ilang taon ka tayo magtatrabaho? Ano ang average number of years natin, no? Nagkukugulan sa pagtatrabaho. Ilan? 40, no? Malamang 40. Like, I think you start working when you turn 20, right? At kung tayo magre-retire pag 60, at 40, or 90. So, compute ninyo, nakailan taon na kayo? Sino dito nakapag, ang pinakamatagal ay yung 5 to 10 years na nasa trabaho nila. Ay, may iba dito. Ano pa lang? Like 2 to 5? That's good to know. So, we have a mixed group here, no? May mga baguhan, may mga batikan na, at may mga pa-retire na ata. No? I wish to retire the soonest time, but God's not yet done with me yet. But of course, for us Christians, how should we Christians view work? Okay? We, of course, Christians believe that God calls us to work as our participation in His creative work. We find it, in fact, in the very first pages of the Bible. When you open your Bible, the book of Genesis, in our conviction that we are participants in God's work, we find there, no? That work is a fundamental dimension of human existence on earth. That when man, who had been created, Adam, and Eve, of course, created in the image of God, hears the word, when they hear the words, be fertile and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Even though these words do not refer directly and explicitly to work, beyond any doubt, they indicate that the first humans must use the resources of creation to meet their needs and those who would come after them. Right? In this way, human work participates in God's creative work. Now, shouldn't that give us enough motivation or much needed boost? Knowing that we become participants in God's creative work whenever we wake up every morning to do our work. Diba ang saya? I am God's partner in, providing for my family and for the people around me. God is actually using me, so I am His partner, in enriching the life of the people around me. Right? Ang ganda noon. In fact, syempre medyo bias ako pa umanhin. Ayon sa aming patron saint, na si Santo Tomas de Aquino, sabi niya, there can be, however, first according to St. Thomas Aquinas, there can be no joy in living without joy in work. So, hindi lang sapat na tayo nagtatrabaho, we must also, kailangan natin ng galak sa ating pamumuhay, sa trabaho. So, it's not enough that we work. We have to be able to work with joy. Okay? Strangely though, according to Robert Malthus, the writer of The Christian Employee, we Christians are more likely to have problems with employment than are non-Christians. Now, why is this so? Nung inanalize ko to, I contemplated on that, bakit daw tayo mga Kristiyano more likely will have more problems than non-Christians? I thought, is it because we have certain expectations, that are not met in the workplace? Is it because there are some values we have that others do not share with us? Is it because we are misplaced? We are not in the right job right now? Or is it because we have relationship problems in the workplace that are robbing us of joy? Or do you feel that your work does not get recognized or appreciated by your boss or by your co-workers? Are you burnt out? You think that you give more than what you get? Are you burnt out because you spend more than what you earn? Or are you giving your best or not quite? So the title of my presentation this evening is your job work or play? You know, when I got the title, my initial answer was, before looking at the outline, there was an outline given which I had to develop also. It was a very beautiful outline, no? But I had to make certain revisions as I saw fit. The first answer, that, of course, what I thought was, both. My job is both work and play. Because again, I'm coming from the premise that work is my work is my participation in God's creative work. But you know, at some point I realized while I was reading the outline that there might be or there is a negative connotation to work sometimes. In fact, I don't know if you're familiar with the story of the fall of man in Genesis chapter 3. Do you remember that you know, Adam and Eve committed disobedience. They ate from the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. They disobeyed God, no? May exegesis yan, pero hindi ko napapaliwanag yun, ay isang lecture yun. Pero ang sabi doon ay, what did God say? When God realized that they actually ate from the forbidden fruit, God cursed, not Adam and Eve. Whom did God curse? So God turned to the woman first. It's a very beautiful piece of literature, no? God turned to the woman and said, because you sinned, cursed be not you. He loved them. God loved them. Even his wrath was not out of anger, really. His punishment was not out of wrath. I mean, his punishment was out of love for them. In fact, he did not even curse Eve. God said, because of what you've done, Eve, cursed be the serpent. There'll be enmity between you and the serpent from this day forward. And then because of what you've done, Adam, ano sabi niya kay Adam? Cursed be the ground on which you stand. God didn't curse Adam. God cursed the ground. And then God tells Adam, since you listened to your wife and ate from the tree, curses the ground because of you. Through toil, you will eat of it all the days of your life. And so the ground will be under a curse because of what you did. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. The term used there is, instead of work, toil. And then, you know, like to toil is to work exhaustively. Alam niyo, hindi pinarusahan ng Diyos si Adam, pero pinarusahan ng Diyos yung lupa. Sabi niya, dahil yan, mahihirapan kang magtrabaho. Work shall be tough on you. You will work and toil all the days of your life. Okay? And sometimes don't we feel that way? That maybe there are certain dysfunctionalities here and there. At minsan tingin natin, parang kung napaparusahan, parang parusa ang trabaho ko. But could it be because of our doing? Or could it be because of the place where we work? I mean, the workload given, that's just too much to bear? Or could it also be because we lack good order? Kaya naman eh, but we lack good order. That's why we're so exhausted doing our work, because we do not prioritize what needs to be prioritized. And so we have to analyze, no? So yun sinasabi, kaya iba, pas natin work, parang they're not too happy with that work. Kasi nga, work connotes hard work, toil. So let me go back to my answer to the question. Is your job work or play? I said both, because I see my work as a participation in God's creative work. And I also see work as play. What does that mean? Ang tingin ko dito ganito, di ba pag naglalaro, di ba, sabi? When we are at play, when we enjoy meaning what we do, time is suspended. We forget time. Naalala niyo na bata kayo? Naglalaro kayo sa kalye? Naglaro pa ba kayo sa kalye, mga millennials? Very good. Tama. That's good. Naalala ko na bata ako nanay sa talagang iyo, pag-kipsilin na, magkadapit hapon na, tatawagan niya ng kariyo, oh my God! Huli na ka! Ano muna ka? So, diba? Kasi masyado na ako nawili, hindi ko na, nakakalimutan akong oras. Iba ganun pag naglalaro, time is suspended. No? For some reason, you just find so much joy in what you do that you forget everything else. This, I think, is also similar to what Peter Berger, ay, pa-burger ka naman. Birthday mo. Okay, Peter Berger is a Protestant theologian. He says, when adults play with genuine joy, they momentarily regain the deathlessness of childhood.
I like what Peter Berger said about that. Now, when we are at play and we enjoy what we do at play, we regain the deathlessness of a child. Naalala mo pag bata ka, di ba, pag naglalaro ka, you take all the risks, no? Lalo na pag bata ka, syempre hindi ka takot ma-injure, di ba? Like, hindi takot na ako maglaro kasi di ba, alam ko pag na-injure ako, mahirap na. Pero nung bata ka, wala kang takot, it's very risky, no? You take risks. I mean, and you're just very brave, right? That's what that meant, no? You regain the deathlessness of a child. Death has no sting on you. Death has no power on you. I mean, you're just carefree. You couldn't care. Meaning, you just go for it. Sugod ng sugod. Laban. No fighting. Na parang ganoon. So, sinasabi dito ni Peter Berger, this, your work still allow you to do that, to be daring, to be bold, to make brave decisions, to go for it, to have that mastery of yourself and say, kaya ko to. Fighting, no? Parang ganyan. So I think that's what he meant by that. Okay, so again, is your job work or play? In this talk, but again, I think sometimes there are problematic areas, of course, that rob us, no? Of joy that makes our work toil, our job toil, and that makes our job, lacking luster, inspiration, and joy. So one of the other objectives of my talk thereby, I call it Project Joy in your job. Nakalagay din sa outline. Thereby, we are invited to look at a number of elements that will help us find, discover, or bring back joy in our jobs. For you who are maybe starting, how do you find that joy in your workplace or in your job? For those who've been working for a long time, for a while, how do you actually discover that? At one point, you may have lost it, so discover that. Alamin natin, tingnan natin, meron pa ba? May ibubuga pa ba tayo? Masaya pa ba tayo sa ating trabaho? So there are elements. Now, there are 5 elements actually on what I call Project Joy in your job. What are these five elements? They all start with letter P, no? Paras, no? Paras ako, di ba? So, ano ang bias ito, no? P, okay? At ang mga anak ko, letter P din ang Pax and Pio. So, okay. The 5 P's are praise, proclamation, purpose, passion, providence. Okay? So, I will not speak very lengthily on the 5, but this will be the next 5 topics of the talk, no? So, in fact, pag tumatanda niyo pala, ayaw mo ng mahabang talk, no? Nakakaisa din na. Well, anyway, I will try to expound on the following 5, okay? So I hope you bear with me, that you stay with me. So the first principle, the first P is praise. Praise. So what does that mean, no? Praise. It means that, actually, okay, let me, the principle that I'd like to expound is this. Now, your job, whether work or play, is worship or praise to God. Let's start with that. How do you bring joy back? Number 1, consider your work as praise to God. In fact, the word liturgy, alam niyo ba na sa liturgy is the original meaning of the word liturgy. Di ba we use liturgy of the hours, liturgy of the Eucharist, liturgy of the word liturgy is like, we use it to mean prayer, no? Liturgy, no, prayer, no? Prayer of the hours, liturgy of the hours. But the original meaning of the word liturgy is the people's work or public duty. Hindi ibig sabihin literally. Okay? Meaning people's work or public duty. That is, in the early church, Christian church, that is, liturgy meant everything that all Christians did in taking part in God's work. So this did not only include public worship, but also service of one's neighbor. Therefore, worship equals worship. All of life is worship. My work is my worship, is my praise to God. I think this also alludes to what I mentioned a while back, that once we see our work as a participation in God's work, we will not be the same person again. Okay? Ako, nang na-realize ko yun sa buhay ko na ang trabaho ko bilang guro, it's not just my bread and butter. I never looked at teaching as just my bread and butter. Otherwise, I would have shifted careers. Because it doesn't pay much.
Okay? So, what I saw was, ang teaching sa akin ay buhay. It's really life. I breathe it. And I saw it as my participation in, as I teach theology in college, bringing the souls, these people closer to the Lord. As, it's my way of paying back what was done to me. Okay? So, again, so all that we do then is worship to God. Our jobs, your jobs, and how you do your job is part of our worship to God. In fact, in Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 to 24, we are exhorted to think that whatever we do, work at it with all your heart, as you're working for the Lord and not for men. Since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward for that. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. Okay, employed ka sa company na ito, pero when you see your work as worship, alam mo na your loyalty first is to God before your boss. So that if at some point, there's conflict of values, you know whom to choose. You know what to do. You know what to choose. Okay? Okay? And then a while back, I remember, I heard Mike talk about the little conflict between him and his boss, no? No? That cannot be helped sometimes, especially when there are conflict in values. I also worked at the Office of Public Affairs, and at some point, of course later I'll tell you about that, but just to preempt that a bit, I opted to go back to full-time teaching because work and work was just causing a strain on a lot of things. There are things that my boss and I do not necessarily agree with. Okay? Of course, I'm a family woman, I'm a working mom. It's tough to be a working mom. I have little kids, and I want to spend a lot of time with them. Pero sa trabaho ko sa public affairs, minsan walang holiday. Minsan bumabagyo, bumabiyahe ako pa Manila. Lalusugin ko, pangit ng Tagalog ko? Ano yun? Ungin ko! Ang baha! Pag-imagine mo yun, bumabagyo, signal number 3, pero papunta ako ng Manila. Kasi sabi ng boss, I have to be there for an event, because we have guests. So that was just tough, right? And it's really tough to be a working mom and to be that particular job. So there were conflicts, yes, but with all humility, she's a great person. She's a great leader. She's a very efficient boss. It's just that we did not see eye to eye on certain things. So I opted to go back to full-time teaching. No? But when we get in conflict, sabi dito, ang turo sa atin, when we get in conflict with our bosses, of course, number one fact, tandaan natin that we are at the mercy of our bosses, whether we like it or not. So tinatawagan tayo to actually count them as worthy of honor in word, thought, and deed. Ito yung lagi ko tinuturo to kahit sa mga estudyante before, naituro din sa akin ito yung humility versus pride. Humility is counting other people as higher than you or counting yourself lower than other people. Some people think that that's foolishness to think of the self as lowly than other people, even while I have abilities too, right? Lalo pag alam mo, ang galing-galing ko, tapos ang boss ko, ganito-ganito, akala niya, minamaliit niya ako. Pero alam nyo, I got a very interesting definition of humility from one speaker. Humility is simply being cooperative. It's not simply. Humility is being cooperative. And the opposite is, when you're proud, it is being uncooperative. And sometimes when we are proud, it's really, we do not speak the truth. We do not speak our truth. Because the truth is, she's the boss and I am an employee. That's the truth, right? It's like, like before God, ako at ang Diyos. What's my truth before God? He is my God and I am His creation. I'm His creation. He's higher. God is higher than me. I must acknowledge that first, right? That before God, I'm a sinner. But that, I am loved. I'm a loved sinner. That's my truth, right? So humility is actually about being truthful. And humility is about being cooperative. A humble person is a cooperative person, right? Kasi alam niya, kahit magaling siya, he will work closely with you. But a proud person is someone who is very uncooperative. Kasi tingin niya lagi, ay wala itong matinong gagawin. Ito wala itong may co-contribute. Ay, ito, naku. Wala ka pang ginagawa, nahusgahan ka na.
sabi ng mga estudyante, judger. No? That's how they call their classmates, no, who make such accusations and false judgments. Na they say judger ka, ha? So anyway, that, no? So yung kanina, halimbawa, yung kwento ni Mike, I think at some point, Mike recognized that you have to be able to cooperate with your boss because we are at the mercy of our bosses. You know, I also read an article that says, kapag meron kang hindi gusto sa opisina at meron kang gusto baguhin sa sistema, you know, one suggestion is go to your boss, but before you even go to your boss, dapat meron ka ng alternative na course of action. Para pag inarap mo siya, meron ka ng proposal. Now, you know, boss, I think this will work better than, you know, the way that things are happening or we're running things around here. Hindi ba siya natutuwa noon? Na hindi ka lang pumuna. Meron kang hinilalatag sa kanya na suggestion, na option, na course of action. You're cooperative, right? So, that, okay? But anyway, let's go back to that point on my work is my worship all of life. All that I do is my worship to God because I see my work as, again, a participation in the creative hand of God. Okay? So that, Ephesians 6:5-7 states that. And it's a very lengthy text. Obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and in sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ. Obey them not only to win their favor when their eye is on you, but like slaves of Christ, doing the will of God from your heart, serve wholeheartedly as if you were serving the Lord, you know, again, and not just men. Okay? Because again, it's the Lord that we would like really to please, no? Above all else. But we need, of course, we need to cooperate with our human leaders, right? The second element is proclamation. So what's the first element again? Praise. The second element is proclamation. Okay? Sabi ni St. Francis of Assisi, it is no use walking anywhere to preach unless our walking is our preaching. Our walking, like no use walking anywhere to preach unless our walking is our preaching. Meaning, your job is your pulpit. Right? Your job is your pulpit. One of the goals, of course, your mission as lingkod ng Panginoon is to Christify the workplace. Okay? So your workplace is your pulpit. At one point, are you willing to Christify the workplace? Are you willing to use the workplace as your pulpit? Okay? And you know, to simply put, I think it's all about living a life of virtue. How do I make my work as my pulpit? I have to live a life of virtue. Sa UST, malakas dito, no? We always teach our students, no? Doon pa lang sa main building namin, sa taas sa main building natin yung the three theological virtues, faith, hope, and love. You know, but more than that, we also teach them to have the following in the workplace. To have the four cardinal virtues. What are they? Justice, prudence, temperance, fortitude. You know, I'll speak briefly about them. No? Justice. My work is my pulpit. My job is my pulpit. I think justice at one point has to be observed, served in the workplace. What is justice? It's not just getting equal portions of the pie. No, that's equality. Justice is also about equity. What is equity? It is giving to one another based on needs. Have you seen that on the internet, that photo that speaks about equity? There were 4 people, different heights, and they are looking on the other side of the fence. But because one is tall, one is quite small, one is moderately sized, it's hard for the small guy, right, to actually. So ano binigay? Equality, give them the same size of footstool. Pareho din naman eh. Wala pa rin naman nagbago, di ba? Okay, umangat sila. Pero mas, umangat lalo, yung mas matangkad. Yung maliit, umangat konti. That's equality, right? To give everybody equal portions of the pie. But you know, sometimes in the workplace, you realize that some people need certain things more than others do. That's justice. When equity ang tawag doon, to give others based on their needs. Then in the workplace where this aking workplace dati, alala ko, I would always be at the defense of a senior faculty who was already very old and quite slow. And there were millennials in that office who were really working very efficient because mabibili sila, they're very techy. But she was at a disadvantage because she was slow. And they would often talk about her in a bad way and tell her that, dapat mag-retire na, lagi pa siya na opisina, etc., etc. And I'd always come to the defense of this person because I say, how dare you? She has earned her place here. Diba? So, bigyan niyo siya ng kanyang karapatang lugar din. No? At hindi ka magre-retire na yun. Pero, respetuhin niyo yung kanya. Hindi naman nakita, di ba parang siya nagsimula din sa opisina niya. And what she has contributed, dumating lang kayo, tapos tingin niyo mas efficient kayo kasi mas bilis yung mga lang. So that's just terrible not to think. So sometimes, God calls you to actually defend the disenfranchised and the disadvantaged in that regard. Prudence is actually to have right judgment. So, opisina, minsan, di ba, yung mga decision based sa iba-ibang mga motivation, iba, may iba-ibang ulterior motives. But you have to have prudence is to have right judgment. To be very wise. I like Solomon a lot because he did not ask for wealth when God told him, well, ask anything from me. He did not ask for wealth, he asked for wisdom. That's a good quality. Prudence, to have wisdom in making decisions. Job is your pulpit. If at one point we're asked to make certain decisions, be bold, be brave, make the right decisions. And fortitude, of course, is to have courage, not to be brave, not to give in to corruption. Where there's malice, alam mo yan. The word, temptation is from the word skandalon, meaning scandal. Kahit gagawin na alam mo, alam mong pagtanggol ng sarili mo, pero ang gagawin mo, makakaskandalo sa iba, it's going to tempt them to sin. Please be very prudent in acting. Parang ganoon. Have the courage to stand up for what is right. Do not easily give in to such. Right? So, madami, my point is, I don't know how you have been doing in your job, using it as a pulpit to crucify the workplace. But again, number 2 element, how do you find joy in your job? Use it, as a place where you can actually speak about your virtues. And actually people, sometimes would disagree with you and would not like you at all. But I don't think it's about liking. I think it's about being respected. Bata pa lang ako, estudyante ako, sabi ng leader ko sa akin sa Seaway, Lorna, you are never a thermometer. You're a thermostat. Pero yung thermometer, pag nalagay sa kilikili mo, mag-adjust siya sa temperature ng katawan. Pero ang thermostat, pag in-adjust mo, i-adjust yung temperature ng kwarto. Sabi sa akin ng leader ko, Lorna, ganun ka, You're always the one to influence. You're not the one to be influenced easily by other people. And I'm never, back in the day, up until today, I was never after people liking me because that's easy. You do people favors, they like you na. And one mistake, they don't like you na. But I think it's about, parang sorry, konyo, I think it's really about getting respected for your convictions. Because even while people may not like me, but if they respect me for my convictions, I think I'll be fine. I am fine. Number 3, project joy in your job. Ano yung pangatlo? This is the heart of the job. Purpose. Purpose, Purpose. A while back, we defined work as the sustained effort expended for a purpose. It is an effort that makes a difference in the world. In fact, I don't know if we'll have time. We might not have time, Connect your job to your life mission, sabi Jan. We're supposed to have a little activity, but if time would not allow it, at least I'd like you to take this as a take-home work. Picture na. Estudyante ka, Picture na ninyo. Tatabi na ako. And anyway, it says something about, so give it a thought. Yung kukunan niyo yun, Make a list of all the activities you do, whether paid or not paid, that can be considered work. Next to each one, write what the purpose of the work is or the difference it makes in the world. You get it? Naman. So, list all the things that you think you're doing as work. Whether you're paid for them or you're not paid for them. And then, list down, what are their purpose? Kasi mahalaga yun Naalam mo, ba't mo ginagawa ito? Ano ang lugar niya? Because it's going to, I think, prompt you to wake up every morning. Ako, I wake up at 3:45 every morning. Yun ang alarm clock ko, 3:45. Ina-alarm mo yung phone ko, tapos luminin ko yung every gising is a blessing. Di ba? Every gising is a blessing. Tapos, tigdoana ka. Kapampangan ko yung kasunod. Sa phone ko, tingnan ninyo. Tigdoana ka. Sabi nga anak mo, man. I actually think about my kids, really, and my husband. No? I really have to be able to give my part of that, because as a part, I really needed to work because of my family of origin. I needed to help them. So it's not even, we are well, but my family need help. So I need to work. 3:45 a.m. pag tinatamad ako mga ibang araw tinatamad ako. Ay, sabulin. I have to work. I have to be able to provide. Every night, I go home most days. I work in Manila. I go home most days. Why do I go home most days? Because I have to read stories to my boys every night. I go home. And sometimes I'm just so tired, but my boys would say, story, mama. And, when I get tired, I say, I have to tell stories because it's really my time to bond with my kids. It's my time to be able to pass on to them my mind. It's the only time, I guess, that I'll be able to really be that connected to them. Because I know one day they will no longer be mine. Dahil nga ara pag sa edad ninyo, hindi na siguro. Unless, of course, I've established one-on-one time with them. So I hope that even while they reach your age, they'll still be connected to me. They'll still feel an affinity to their mom. So, no? So, when the why is clear, sabi nga, have you heard of this? When the why is clear, the how is easy. Why? Why do I have to go home? Why do I have to wake up? Why do I have to be in good terms with my boss? Why do I have to talk to this person that I don't want? Why? Why do I have to study even while I work already? Di ba nag-aaral pa ako? Why? Why am I in this particular job? When the why is clear, the how is easy. Okay, number 4. Carry ba, no? Okay. Carry lang? Ano muna? Praise, passion, purpose. The heart of that talk, a purpose. Take home work naman yan. I think the next is passion. Again, we defined work as a sustained effort expended for a purpose. It is effort that makes a difference in the world. It says sustained effort. I think what sustains us in our jobs is passion. The 4th element. Right? Yun eh. Ilang taon na ako sa pagtuturo. Ba't ako nagtatagal sa pagtuturo? Because I love what I do. I love what I do. And I get paid for it. Imagine mo yun. Do you love what you do? May malasakit pa ba kayo sa trabaho ninyo? Mahal niyo ba ang inyong trabaho? Are you still excited to go to work as you were when you were starting? Or are you still very excited? Yung mga bago sa trabaho nila? But I think passion is very important. No? Very, very important. In fact, I chanced upon this. Bill Butler says, passion is oxygen of the soul. It sustains us. Wala ito. Okay? According to one study of millionaires, an impressive majority eventually became wealthy, not because they possessed a primary ambition to get rich, but because they found work about which they could be passionate. Their luck arose from their dedication, so they got lucky, they got rich. Their luck arose from their dedication to an area that they really enjoyed. The universe bends to those who are convinced that they are in the right place doing the right thing. Sabi ni Alan Lloyd McKiggins on The Balanced Life. Meaning, they enjoyed what they were doing. They had passion. Okay? How much time do I still have? Kelly lang. 10 minutes. I'd like to share something very brief because after this is the 5th element, no? About my passion, my work, and how. So I'll try to make it's a 1 page. See, so I'll try to make it brief. Let me share to you how the Lord brought back my passion to teach. Because at some point, nawala yun. Nawala talaga. Okay. I started teaching in college at Holy Angel University in 1994. Do your math, I'm 45. I spent my first 13 years of teaching there. I enjoyed teaching a whole lot. Sa totoo lang. I always knew that teaching was never just my bread and butter. It was air. I breathed teaching. This was also in the beginning. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a lawyer. a job that paid me more. But my family couldn't afford it. Hindi talaga namin kaya ng time na yun. Hirap talaga kami. They couldn't afford to bring me to law school or med school, much more pre-med or pre-law. So I had to give up those ambitions. So I ended up in the College of Education of Holy Angel, a field that was, I think, most convenient to take. The aim was to go to teach not just any subject, but theology, because I was supposed to pursue English language studies, parang ganon. But I shifted to theology. This was reinforced, of course, when I got in the renewal through Christ Youth in Action, HAU. When I was asked to give my first talk, I was still a student then, I gave a talk during the Crossroads Retreat. I remember, I was asked to practice before Billy Cano, my leader. So, yun, no? Tapos, when I gave my first talk, I realized that I connected to my audience. Parang feeling ko, they got me and I got them. No? Sabi ko, Lord, how did you got them, you know? With the grace of the Lord, and the honesty that I felt while I was giving the talk, I realized that this was perhaps what the Lord wanted me to do in my one lifetime. This was my worship to the Lord. So the rest was history, so to speak. I spent 30 years doing college theology in HAU and doing volunteer work in CYA. Kaya itong lugar na to, gusto ko to kasi ito ako inassign sa CYA-UF. And those whom I have evangelized, or the Lord allowed me to evangelize, are now my friends. Pwede ng mga anak ko, libre ang bakuna. Oo, mga naging doktor, mga naging nurse, mga naging PT, they're in the medical field, most of them, right? So they've become my friends, and the Lord has blessed me through them. Amazing, di ba? And then, I moved to UST in 2007. Okay, I'll tell you later why. Anyway, with a great fervor to do relevant theology, I still had the zeal to teach all the more because at that point, I was out of my comfort zone, far from home, in a new environment with new challenges. But the Lord sustained me. I knew that I had to improve on my teaching, right? Naku po, no? Nakakatakot. So I had to increase my vocabulary. I had to watch closely my favorite speakers, increase my vocabulary, learn from their practice, I had to increase my knowledge in theology. I had to study again and again and again. I had to sharpen my skills in teaching. Again, my work was my worship to God. The Lord never failed me. And when I meant to retire and go home to Pampanga, kasi, in 2010 I got married. I had a baby, my first and then my second. So nagkapamilya na ako, nag-iba na mga priorities ko. So sabi ko sa asawa ko, tatay, I'm giving myself just not 10 years in UST. After a decade, pauwiin muna ako sa Pampanga, gusto mo na bumalik dito. Okay? So, but before I even completed, actually I was on my 10th year when God surprised me. He asked me to work in the Office of Public Affairs of UST. Okay? It was a promotion, in fact, meaning somebody handpicked me. There was a priest, his name is Father Kabading. Hindi ko man siya nakatrabaho closely, but I think he saw my work ethic. At one point, we worked in one conference. And then he mentioned my name when they were asking for a replacement for the Assistant Director for Public Affairs. So it was a top office since we were the face of the University of Santo Tomas. Matters of confidentiality should be kept. I think you know that it was tough for UST during that time. My new work also, but my work also brought me out of my comfort zone. I was like the manager of the visits management aking hinahandle. I was asked to bring guests around campus. I would give them campus tours, local international guests. Yet the Lord did not leave me orphan. Hindi ko naman trabaho yun, hindi naman ko gano'n. But the Lord said that you have gifts, that you have convictions and morals. I want you to be in that workplace. I'll put those to good use. My job was my pulpit. There were times when I would get in conflict with the people around me because I realized that there was malice somewhere. I could not put my finger on something because I knew something was wrong there. Marami, grabe, nakita ko lahat yun. At sabi ko sa sarili ko, ano kaya ang gagawin ko, My work, my job was my pulpit. In ways that I knew I could speak, I had to speak up. But I knew that there would be consequences, But anyway, my boss wanted to renew me for the job because I think she felt that she needed help. But I quit my job, I went back to my original love, which was teaching. But nakakatuwa kasi when I went back to teaching, I had a renaissance of sorts. Na-renew ako kasi nalis ko ang pagtuturo. At alam nyo, di ba, sabi ko sa inyo kanina, I was nursing in my heart the going home after a decade. So alam nyo, nung papatapos na yung dekada na yon, I was very detached from my students. I felt uninspired to teach. When my students would misbehave, I felt defeated even before I would make an attempt to fix their misbehavior. I lost my passion. Kasi feeling ko, 10 years lang to dito, di ba, uwi rin naman ako. So what's the point of being, of giving my all? Alis na rin naman ako eh. Naalala ko ng asawa ko, pag maraming pagkakataon na nag-leave ako, kasi tinatamad ako ng tumayo. Tapos nasabi sa akin, work from home ulit. Oo. I just wanted to stay here because, this is my comfort zone at some point. I wanted to be with my kids, right? And with my family. At some point, I really lost my passion. So see, God was so wise. Ang dahilan pala, ba't niya ako dinala sa isang opisina was actually to open my eyes that, you know what? This is the place where you work at. These are the people you work with. And others want to be in their place. Aren't you blessed to be in the Royal and Pontifical and Catholic University of the Philippines, University of Santo Tomas? Kasi may mga bisita kami and they are appalled by the university. Feeling ko, uwi na ako eh. Sila naman, gusto pumunta doon. At yung mga faculty namin na hinahar na magturo doon, and when I hear their stories, I realize, oh my goodness, my getting to UST was not even difficult. And here they are, wanting to go to it, wanting to get there, in a place where I loved it. At some point, noong time na yan, di ba? So you know what? So after my working out, I went to the teacher, God made me realize, see, wait on me. I know what I'm doing. I'm not yet done with you here. And so when I came back to teaching, which is, I'm now in my second year now after that work, second semester, third semester, oh my gulay, I'm never the same teacher again. I tell you, it was a reminiscence of sorts. It was a reawakening. Ang saya-saya ko uling magturo. Super. Matutuwa, yung asawa ko nagugulat eh. 3:45. Every busy is a blessing. Titig doon na, I wake up. I have to wake up because I know my students will miss me and I'm going to miss them. In fact, when they would text me, they'd say, Mom, as much as we love you and we love your subject, we will not be able to meet you on the following day because of certain things. Wow, God brought back my passion. In fact, by the end of this academic year, I would have completed my 25th year of teaching. 13 years in Holy Angel, 12 years in UST. And I'm still doing, thank you, Lord, I am doing work which is worth doing. It would still be worth doing if nobody paid for it. But as I have no private means and need to be fed and housed and clothed, I must be paid while I do it. Sabi ni C.S. Lewis, a Christian writer. Yeah? So, what does he say? Of course, we need to do what we're passionate about, right? And get compensated for it. Now, lastly, provision. Of course, I think of our motivation to work is so that we may provide for our needs, right? And the needs of those around us. Tama? Mahalaga din naman yun. Hindi naman tayo iwanan ni Lord. He will not leave us empty-handed. He will provide for our needs. Okay? So that's important, right? That we're actually paid well. In fact, I teach this in my class, yung just wage. Define just wage, And I ask, what's fair or just wage? Fair wage or just wage is that will help workers meet their needs and those of the family and give them a degree of security. Yun ang just wage. Kaya di ba, hindi talaga makatarungan sa contractualization. Kasi wala kang pagkakala makapagplano sa buhay mo pag meron kang contract na ganoon. How can you plan, di ba? If you'll not be employed after 6 months, wala ka na, you have to find another job. So napakalaga ng tenureship. Napakahalaga ng magpa-permanent sa trabaho mo. Napakahalaga na binibigyan ka ng sweldo na mabibigyan mo ang mga pangailangan mo. Pangailangan mo, makakapag-ipon ka pa. Makakabili ka pa rin insurance. Because, I'm serious, no? Because, look, I'm advertising any insurance, okay? Diba? Ano pa kailangan natin i-provide para sa ating mga napakadami, ha? Shelter, transportation, education, healthcare. Ba, kailangan ng recreation, ha? You have to reward yourself also, di ba? When you work so hard. Life and disability insurance. Pension. Hindi ako nagbebenta. And for possible unemployment. What if you get sick? What if you get meron na one? And then for food, of course, nahuling food, tsaka clothing. Nasa ikot. Di ba dami-dami? You know, back in the day, when I was your age, during our time, di naman kami tinuruan, we were not financially literate. Di kami tinuruan ganyan. Ang sabi sa amin nung bata pa kami, pag nagkasakit ka, sino mag-aalaga sa'yo? Iba yung pamilya mo, so silang bahala sa'yo. Ngayon, nararamdam ko na ito sa aming pamilya, yung mga ate ko, yung mga minana namin sa magulang namin, sakit. At nandam ko na talaga na hirap kami because again, we were not financially literate. In fact, when I was single, I wasted a lot of money. Pakape-kape. Sinira ang pera sa kape. Yung mga binili, hindi ko naman kailangan. Diba? When I like something, I would buy 3 pieces of the same, 3 colors of the same stuff. And I wasted so much money. No? At yung mga binigay ako, syempre, hindi na bumali. Hindi na nakita. Anyway, so, no? So, what is the encouragement? Kasi diba, hindi nakakalangkot, diba? Work again. Must be able to help us sustain ourselves and bless other people. And the thing is this, we must be able to spend less than what we earn. Otherwise, there won't be any joy in our work. You know why did I leave my work in Angel? Partly because I felt burdened by a lot of things that I need to provide for, and I had little to spend. In fact, because of my doing, I think, I was spending more than what I was earning. Hindi ko na na-enjoy yung sweldo ko, daming loan. Hindi, di ba? So when I got married, you know what my husband said? My husband actually was the one who fixed and actually he taught me what to do, and he actually fixed enough. Yung mga, di ba, kasi nung bata ako, hindi ko fixes that fail. Hindi ko alam yun eh. Meron pa na mga bagay na I tried to fix, di ba? The thing I used to fix it failed. So I just talagang nabaon talaga ako. So, what my husband has said, no, ito kasing problema mo, ganyan. Sabi ni Ellen Goodman, a columnist, normal is getting dressed in clothes that you buy for work, driving through traffic in a car that you are still paying for, in order to get to the job that you need, so you can pay for the clothes, car, and the house, and you live empty all day, in order to afford to live in it. So, that's, I think, the trouble about not being financially literate. Not being able to really spend our money well. Sa UST, nung pumunta ako doon, anong filosofiya ng mga guro doon? It's not how much you earn, it's how much you save. Hindi ka taray. Ano na mga teachers dito, ha? It's about what you save, not what you earn, ha? So, I got a good dose of teaching from these people. And of course, please understand, no? So, kanina, di ba sa, spend less than what you earn, no? Kasi, we also have to check. Now, let's have good order. Let's be financially literate. Let's have goals and work towards them. But finally, I think, part of having joy in our job is to also give to others what we are provided well with. Sabi ni Pope Francis, no one ever becomes poor by giving. Wala talaga. Ako proven ito. Pag manusunod kayo, ganun ka inaalat ka agad na portion na hindi na sa inyo yun, it's supposed to be given to somebody else. Meron ba kayong sponsor na scholar? Meron ba kayong kamag-anak hindi nakakapag-aral? Gusto yung tulungan? Tulungan nyo. Hindi kawalan sa inyo yan. Kasi tingin natin, pag nabibigay tayo, namawalan tayo. Hindi, dumadami ka. Parang gremlin. I really get the point. No one ever becomes poor by giving, so please give. No? Do not forget your duties to those who have nothing. Those among us who have must connect to those among us who have not. Okay? So I close. Okay, Nakakabahan na siya. Ayun, the next thing is going to be time is up. So is your work, is your job work or play? So I'd like to answer that. No, I don't need to tell me, but I'd like you to think about, is your job work or play? Do you find it as your participation in the creative work of God? And do you also find joy doing it so that time is suspended? You forget time. You enjoy what you do. You have passion. You see purpose in what you do. You know, of course, your job circumstances are engineered by God to bless you. Don't forget that. To close, Because in Psalms 37 verse 23, ano sinabi ni Lord? The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Ano, hindi kayo magugutom because the Lord who put you in your job will bless you. The more that you give, di ba? Anong sabi niya? It's more blessed to give than to receive. And give. Give accordingly as you are given much. No? Give to others too. God bless everyone. That's it, Pansit. Thank you.